This is a drive down a backcountry road. We're in Devon, and this is the kind of driving that's a little scary because, as you can see, the visibility is pretty bad. The hedgerows and trees are so tall on either side of the narrow road, and then it curves so much. Oh, now we have a patch where we can actually see 50 feet ahead of us. But so often it's so twisty that you just can't see oncoming traffic on this narrow road. So we met this car on this super narrow road, and thankfully he reversed for half a mile.
Thank you.
Because unfortunately, our reversing or backing up skills are not as good as most Britons. I'm not gonna lie, when I heard we were going to visit a village called Lustleigh, I had my doubts. I mean, that is just a very odd sounding name. I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know what to expect. Once I arrived in the village and took in the view of the well-maintained thatched buildings, the historic parish church, and the splendid magenta flowers, I quickly fell in love with the place. What I didn't realize was that I was about to eat the most deliciously perfect lunch in a beautifully perfect setting, at this tea shop. We ended up having lunch there because we stopped first at the only other eating establishment in this tiny village, a pub called The Cleeve, and discovered it wasn't serving food at that time of day. So we walked a few yards up the road to the Primrose Tea Room, and we were surprised and delighted to enjoy what would be my most favorite lunch of my 5-week British holiday.
It's lovely that we can not only eat outside, but we get our own little isolated table with the view of the thatched cottages behind it. So very quaint. It doesn't get more ideal than this. An English tea, an English garden tea room with twee little English thatched cottages in the background. So this is like the most perfect setup for social distancing dining because we're in our own little garden area. This table is all secluded away from everybody else. It's awesome. This shows how our table is secluded apart from everybody else. So this salad has an amazing array of fresh vegetables and fruit. And then I have never heard of a quiche that is goat's cheese and blackberry in a quiche, but that sounds really interesting. And that granary roll looks pretty delicious too. And this is carrot and ginger soup with a cheese scone. So I'm excited to try that too. So I'm taking a bite of this goat cheese and blackberry quiche, which I've never had before. There's a layer of Branston pickle. Right on the crust, underneath the filling. And the quiche is really different. It's got like a crusty top on it. It's kind of like a savory pie quiche. It's fantastic. So now I'm trying this carrot and ginger soup. Oh, that's good. Really fresh and delicious. And then I can't wait to try this cheese scone. And this delicious cheese scone comes with Cornish butter from Trewithen Dairy. But you know, cheese, so you know it's gonna be good.
Awesome!
That is a fantastic scone. It tastes like one of those Parmesan cheese sticks that you get at Le Madeleine. Oh, it's fantastic. It's gonna be great with this soup.
One of the things I love about Britain is that these wonderful small churches are just everywhere in every little village or town, and that's really so unusual compared to what we're used to in the States. And I love discovering them in all the little villages we visit. So this village has this church, which, as it says, has the Commonwealth war graves in it. And I was trying to figure out how old the church is. These steps were placed here to commemorate Queen Victoria's Jubilee in 1887. So the church was built in about 1200, and it is the St. John the Baptist Parish Church. And here is the war memorial graves, which is very sobering and sad. The church is made of solid granite, so it will probably last many more centuries.
While the present church has parts of the building dating back 800 years, there's evidence of a church and Christian graveyard having existed on the church site since the 6th century, and a pagan burial ground before that. So it is a very old site indeed.
See from the sign that this building is the old post office.
And across the street, by the way, note the disused phone box down the street. Across the street is the current post office, which is also the dairy. Lustleigh has been a wonderful little village to visit. We've enjoyed fabulous food, and I've really enjoyed seeing all the thatched cottages.
After coming back home and finally doing a bit of research, I discovered that Lustleigh is known as the prettiest village in Dartmoor. I think I agree with that label. Please stay tuned for the next vlog in the series, which features another charming village nearby and a gorgeous visit to Dartmoor National Park. Thanks for watching, and do something good in the world today.